In a previous video, I showed you how to do the 5-point Palm Exploding Hypnosis Induction. That was an induction I made up for street hypnosis. In this video, I'm going to take you through some of the footage of that. I'm going to break down what's happening and the principles behind this induction. That once you know these principles, you can make up any induction you want on the fly. It's just that easy. Hypnosis is all about belief, expectation, and engaging the imagination. So we want to do everything that we can first to create that belief and the expectancy in our subject that they are going to experience hypnosis and it's going to be a terrific experience. You do this by having a good pre-talk where you're dispelling misconceptions and myths about hypnosis that they might have, saying hypnosis as much as possible in the run-up to this to prime their brain with that idea of what they think hypnosis is. Because the more you say it, the more they're going to be thinking about it, the more they're going to be engaging their imagination and what it will feel like when they're hypnotized. And the other thing that you want to do is you want to establish a hypnotic contract with your subject. And this is simply an agreement that they are going to follow along to the best of their ability, that they aren't going to fight the suggestions or think about it, overanalyze what you're saying to them, that they're just going to follow along, want them to work, and have a really fantastic experience. And once you've done this, then you're free to ask them if they're ready to do hypnosis with you. And because it is a two-way street, and that's part of the contract. If you're doing your job as a hypnotist, which is guiding them into this state, and they're doing their part as a subject, which is following your suggestions, then it's going to work. And we really want to make sure that they have that belief and that expectation and that agreement in place. If they aren't agreeing to it, it's not going to work because they don't want to be hypnotized. Once you've established the hypnotic contract and you've given them the pre-talk and you're ready to go, now you want to explain to them what's going to happen. Again, this is about creating belief and expectation. You're going to tell them essentially what you're going to tell them when you hypnotize them. In this case, since I've already done the pre-talk, we've already established the hypnotic contract, let's go ahead and dive in to what is happening in the video. So I've already explained what's happening. At this point, I'm telling her again that as I tap on each of her fingers, she's going to start feeling her hypnosis come all the way up, all the way through. I want to say as I tap on that finger, you're going to feel it more and more and more. I'm using that instead of your finger in there because we want to create that disassociation to help get them into that state. And then I'm saying, okay, and once I've tapped that, we're going to take 5 steps. In each step, you're going to feel your legs get heavier and heavier as if you're walking through the stickiest, gluiest substance you can possibly imagine. And that's important because you're engaging their imagination. It's their imagination doing the work of what they think is going to be the stickiest and what that would feel like to their legs. And then by the 5th step, those legs are going to be so heavy that they just won't move and that you'll be planted into the ground like a tree, standing straight up. And that's an important part because the whole idea behind this was I wanted to not have to worry as much about the subject falling over when I was doing street hypnosis, because that's typically done standing up. You have to be very ready to catch the subject. Even with this induction, as you'll see, this minimizes the risk of that by already giving the suggestion that your legs are getting heavier and heavier and that they're going to stick into the ground and you'll be planted there staying straight up like a tree. Do you understand? And when they say, oh yeah, okay, then you go through with it. And she's laughing because she's already feeling her legs like she's having a hard time moving, taking those steps already. And I'm continuing to give the suggestions that they're continuing to get heavier and heavier and stick more and more. And then she wasn't even able to take another step, so I just had to close those eyes and we went right into the hypnosis. She didn't even get 5 steps before the suggestions that she was going to be stick or her legs were too heavy took over, because we already had hypnosis by the time we even got to that point, just from the setup of the pre-talk and the contract. So this guy was a great subject, and he was going into hypnosis. I'm doing the same thing here, where I've already explained it to him, and I'm going through it again. I'm telling him what is going to happen as I'm having him focus on his hand. And then we're going to take those 5 steps I just told him. And once again, getting confirmation from him, okay, this is what's going to happen. And then, boom, I start tapping on his finger. And I'm telling him his hypnosis is coming up. We're engaging that imagination. We're setting that expectation and that belief. And you can already feel it happening. Like, he's already there. You can tell by the look on his face. And he's having a hard time. There he goes. He's already going deep into trance, as you can see. So I just let his hands go down. But I'm like, okay, now let's see what happens if you take those 5 steps. And I had to be very careful that he didn't fall over here, because he was very deep into trance. And yeah, we're only getting a few steps because he is so deep into trance. There really wasn't much more to it, but because he was just a fantastic subject. So that can happen too, and you want to be very aware of that. And there he goes, leaning over. And again, this is why we still have to make sure that the subject is safe, that they aren't falling over, because it would have been, if I wasn't there, he would have just been on the ground, and that would have been bad for everybody. As Dave Elman would say, and he used this in the calloused induction they made, that using these same principles, want that to happen, expect that to happen, and watch it happen. That's what we're doing here. We want to have that contract where they want it to happen, where they are expecting it to happen, and that they're seeing it happen. Using that structure, this structure, you can do this with anything. The cool thing about this induction is, what I think is an added benefit to it, is they're experiencing hypnotic phenomena as you're doing the induction. As they experience that hypnotic phenomena, that increases their belief, which increases their responsiveness to your suggestions. And the more you do, the more their belief is going to become amplified, the more they're going to expect, wow, something's happening, this is pretty cool, I'm going to go with it. I must be hypnotized because I can't lift my legs. And the more we do that, the more open they become to having a great experience. That is the breakdown of the principles I used in the 5-point Palm Exploding Hypnosis Induction. Go out there, try it, make up your own inductions using these principles. That's exactly how I came up with this. Hope this has been helpful. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more. Be seeing you.